welcome to our podcast today. The Walk to Emmaus is the name of our podcast, and here we have
Barnabas,
Fumi,
Tosin.
and I'm Brittany. We're welcome to have you today. Thank you so much for joining. So our topic today is going to be Netflix. Netflix is a giant in the world of entertainment. They're the world's largest internet television network with 100 million members in over 190 countries. Wow.
Yeah.
The effect that has on so many people.
Touching lives.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
I guess we can start with what are our personal thoughts on Netflix. I personally watch it for anime. I, subscribe for anime and K-dramas. Personal thoughts on it, I don't know. I know how to limit myself, I would say, thankfully.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I personally had Netflix, but I had to cancel it because I didn't know how to limit myself.
same.
So for me, it became an addiction for sure. I went through that for a while.
Yeah.
And personally, I've never gotten a Netflix subscription because I didn't even get to that point. I probably got addicted to other things first. So I was like, this is just going to open up the door for more. So never dabbled in it. And it costs money. Other things are free.
Yes.
So.
Very true.
Yeah. And for me, I usually use Netflix for like documentaries. There's this really interesting basketball documentary about Michael Jordan, but I currently don't have a Netflix account. When I need to use Netflix, I use my brother's Netflix account.
Okay.
But I choose not to have mine because of how addictive it is.
See, right there, Netflix will be like, see, we tell you people share passwords. I'm sure they know, but they know you share your password. Like, who is he? Find out about you.
Yeah.
Cancel your brother's Netflix account.
Is the way that it's structured that one person is supposed to have the account? Like, it's not allowed
You're not
to be
supposed
shared,
to share
period.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to.
But on there are different accounts.
Okay.
Like you have a family account with like
Yeah.
different
People
yeah.
under it. Okay.
Different
Yeah.
devices.
Okay.
You can have different profiles as well for the different people.
Oh, so there's
Yeah.
different devices. Okay.
Okay, so I didn't even know it was a family
different
thing
devices,
now too.
okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, family sharing planning where you
Right.
can have multiple devices. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm part of this family, so
then they try to
Definitely.
limit to households. Like, but no. Okay. Well, how about what does Netflix do as far as like, I'll say addiction, and has it caused any of you to go into that? Because I like I said, that's something I dealt with for a long time, especially with you'll get into one good show. And then you have the binge thing that now it started, that Netflix started. And that's just with Netflix. Now people are binging on other platforms as well. And even after you binge a show, it's like, I got to find something else just like it. And
Or
then
the
you're
next
searching through
recommended,
it.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's like this satisfaction that you have to, you almost start to crave it. Like, it's weird.
yeah.
What about y'all?
Yeah, same. I rarely ever like plan to watch like one a day or like one a week, right? I usually, whenever I watch, it's usually like a binge, right? Unless it's like one show. Usually, they're like series that you watch on Netflix. So, and one thing I know is that it was created to be addictive, right? They want people to come back and watch more content. So it's within the design that you'll continue watching and binging.
Right.
My latest binge was over the vacation I just took, but it wasn't Netflix. Sorry, Netflix. It was Amazon Prime, and I was binging Smallville. And
Okay.
as soon as I said, staying 9 hours on the sofa I was like, Tosin, that was you.
You make a good point, because I remember personally times whenever I've fallen into like that binge cycle. It was times where like back in college I finished my finals and man, the semester was stressful, and all of a sudden I had all this free time. So that opened the door for hours of, I don't know, maybe it was more like television network channels where you could watch all the episodes of a new series. So definitely it's when that free time comes up that you're like, oh, I deserve this. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
But it's also a slippery slope, you know. Once you find yourself like sitting in front of that TV for so long, your brain hurts. You haven't gone out in a while, so you
No
haven't
sunlight.
texted people,
Yeah.
and they're wondering, how are you? Are you good?
And as you're saying that, I think that you make a good point. Essentially, for me, it would lead to isolation. Like I remember, so I would start like after finals, and then after a couple days, I would go home, and then my mom would be like, "Why are you cooped up in your room? You know, I'm just seeing you for the first time after the semester. You're just in your room." Watching shows, like, and we're living life out here. So that's the big thing. Like, it isolates you from, like, it results in isolation from other people, connection, relationships, and then all the work and things that we're actually supposed to be doing is not getting done.
Oh my God. Yes.
And I think that's one of the goals of Netflix is to separate you, like to keep you like out of the public eye. I don't know what it is. Like it just seems like a lot of things are going that way where, you know, you don't want to be outside hanging out with friends and family and things like that. No, we want you inside. And I think that has to do a lot with like they kind of want to shape like your conscious and how you see things. But my main question is like, how do Christians navigate that, or what should we be watching Netflix as Christians?
I mean,
like,
in my opinion,
you know?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's entertainment. You get to pick and choose what you watch.
Right.
So now it's on you what you're watching, and also on you the intensity and your intentionality and how often you watch. So pick and choose what you're watching wisely based on your personality, based on what you want for yourself, you know?
Right. Okay. That
Sounds
makes
like
sense.
you're saying, as a Christian, we shouldn't just throw all of it out, that we should make a conscious choice to watch the right things for the right amount of time, and you know, and limit it.
Everything
within
is
those realms.
in, like,
Moderation? Or
yes,
is it-
you shouldn't
okay.
overdo
Uh-huh.
everything. You know, there's a right amount for everything. There's a right time for everything. There's a right place for everything. And that also applies here. It's all about timing and also being aware.
Okay. Yeah,
Be
that's
very
right.
aware,
Yes.
self-aware,
Okay.
entertainmentally aware. Like, okay, how much time am I spending? Time aware, time conscious, management, everything. Just
Yes.
be aware.
Okay. That's true. Like I said, it's not just Netflix, but I've been watching The Chosen, and I've been binge watching that.
Even a Christian media.
Yeah, even the Christian media, and this is on a free network, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I have to finish Chosen. I have to watch the next season. Like season 3's out. Like it's not just with that, but I guess like I don't know. It's just the whole binge thing. I don't like it, you know. And then I get wrapped up in it, and I don't like that because it does take your time away when you could be doing other things,
Mhm.
especially reading my Bible more, or you know.
Then you get out the haze and you're like, oh, I haven't watched my bathroom
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, The Chosen, it's a really good series.
It is. It's amazing. You got to see it.
It's about Jesus and his disciples, you know, the
Mhm.
chosen ones around him, and it follows their life, and it's great. But yeah, I've also been, you know, the one to binge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, something that can combat that is like watching together with people,
Yeah, a
like
binge
having
party.
a watch party.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
So that's more wholesome.
Yeah, so where you can talk about what you're watching. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you finish one episode. Hey, should we talk about this? You
Yeah.
know, like, let's discuss what we saw in the episode.
That's
kind of
true.
thing.
That's true.
That would be cool.
That will be cool. We should do
Binging,
that.
like, binge
And just so
party,
you
go
guys
to The
know,
Chosen.
angel.com, you can watch The Chosen for free.
Angel.com.
Angel.com.
Okay,
Angel
good to
videos.
know. She's the plug. She's got you.
Yeah. Okay. What other questions? Let's see. Have you canceled other plans in favor to binge watch a show?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Like going out. Let's not even talking about canceling plans to watch a show. Just going out in general, especially the sun.
Oh, you literally mean going out.
It's just also gross. So if I'm
Okay.
like canceling, I mean Netflix is a bonus, I guess.
Okay.
There are other reasons to cancel, but I have found myself canceling plans for Netflix or binge watching something before.
Oh wow. I've never canceled plans.
That was college though.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it happens. You kind of get in that cycle where you just want to chill,
I mean,
Netflix and chill.
but you also find yourself doing that when you're like, also like it's also, when you think about this kind of stuff, you also need to think about your mental health. Like for me, when I find myself canceling in favor of Netflix, I don't want to go out. I feel like my entire body aches and I'm just tired. I don't
Yeah,
want
because
to
you're
see
just
anybody.
sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even about. It's also about, okay, you need to realize that you binging Netflix for so long can be a indicator of something else. It doesn't have to be just for Netflix or just for this show you're watching. It can be, I am depressed, I am tired, my body aches, it's been a long week. I don't
Are-
want to see anybody.
Are you? It sounds like you're saying that Netflix can be binging can be an indicator that you're feeling depressed or feeling down. Do you think the opposite applies?
Yes, it also it's they feed each off.
Yeah.
If they feed off each other, you're in a depressive loop and you're just sitting watching Netflix, not socializing with people. You're just in that space. You've created a nest of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Negative
also,
emotion.
if this is before starting Netflix, if this is the reason why you're watching, but also Netflix can, like you said, isolate you where you're like, okay, I don't want to go out. I'm gonna stay here, binge this, watch the next recommended, just not move, and then you realize you haven't moved in so long, and your body aches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a psychologist that talks about Netflix effect on people. Mentioned that when he counsels a new client, it's routine for him to ask how they're sleeping, because too little or too much correlates to poor mental health. And yeah, when you in that binging cycle, it's it tends to affect your sleep, and then impact your mental health, your physical health.
Yes,
So,
oh my
yeah.
god. Moderation is
point.
key
Yeah.
for everything.
Because I find myself sometimes, I'm like 1 o'clock in the morning. I know I have to be at work at 8.
Yeah.
Sacrificing for a binge.
Yeah.
Like, so I get it.
I would admit, as a reader, I find myself doing that for reading. It's bad. I need to stop.
Would reading be considered on the same level though? Like, I feel
I
like
mean-
reading is way more better than
But what are
well,
you
depending on what you're
consuming?
reading,
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. It's all about moderation, essentially. Like, if you really think about it, life is just trying not to be too much.
Yeah.
Too much of everything.
Yeah, but that's a really good point about reading being a substitute for Netflix, because at the end of the day you're tired and you want something to like recharge you or just relax, and I think that's an opportunity to find appropriate reading material that relaxes you. Maybe it's not just reading, maybe it's connecting with somebody else. Yeah, maybe it's reading your Bible. Yeah, they're good alternatives.
Yes.
Right, to Netflix, because
Right.
ultimately, like, if you sit there for a long period of time, you end up feeling worse than when you
Oh
started.
my god, yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Like, what are alternatives that help you wind down? I guess I'm just thinking, like, one thing I
Yeah.
sometimes feel guilty about is not connecting with people enough. So even just calling that person you haven't spoken to in 3 months, and
Yeah.
that will. Okay, I did something productive today. Like I addressed this relationship, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
one option
That's
too.
good.
About that, surprisingly, one marker of people who are like healthier is that they talk to family members for like like 10 minutes a day or something like that on average. I'm like, really?
It's like, oh, you can stay on for 10 minutes? Cool.
So
You're so healthy.
yeah, it's a good reason to talk to my mom a lot more.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
They'll definitely bring you back, you know? Like, hey, how have you been?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read Titus 2:11 through 12. For the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation for all people, training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age. And I think the main thing there is live self-controlled.
Yeah. Godly lives. And, like, that's another thing. So, Bible is a collection of events that happened, and you know, like every book you read, you're supposed to draw something from it. You're supposed to learn something.
Right.
And here in Titus that you just read, live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age. Like, you can't close your eyes to the fact that the world is changing.
Right.
So you also need to realize that you need to live self-controlled, upright lives in the present age. You need to really make yourself aware of what is around. Don't just be blind to it, because then you're not prepared for how you're going to deal with when you come across this issue, or when you see something and you just, oh, I encountered that before, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying we should expose ourselves to certain things so that that's beneficial. Or
Not
something?
expose, just be knowledgeable. Don't close yourself off to the knowledge that the world is changing. Yes, and like, there's so many examples.
Yeah. One huge example is just the huge like rise of media and how it's like easily accessible. Like that's one huge thing about our present age.
Yeah.
Not just Netflix, but you know, there's YouTube, there's
TikTok,
a
all
whole
of it.
TikTok, a whole lot of things that you can binge and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
spend a lot of time in.
I feel like Netflix is like, I mean, it's like a dot on the
Just-
page
yeah,
in
just
a
a drop.
bigger question and a bigger sort
Yeah.
of movement.
And
Yeah.
interestingly, there's a video documentary thing. It's called The Social Dilemma. It's actually on Netflix.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good, and but
have
it
to
talks
check that
about
out.
like the hidden designs behind social media and all the algorithms that they use to get people addicted, so that they can get more viewership and get more marketing dollars out of it. So that's something in our present age that we should be aware of. Know going into that binge session or watching session that they want you to stay here longer. So that awareness can
Yes.
help you kind of prevent that from happening.
Just like the question you asked, how do you take yourself out of that? Or like when you're in a binge and you call your mom, or or go for a stroll.
Alternatives.
Yeah, alternatives.
Yeah.
Being aware that okay, Netflix is here, and yes, it's here, it exists, it's in your face. I might fall prey to this. How do I, counteract? What are my what's the word I'm looking for?
Triggers.
Triggers, and what are my solutions to when I notice, okay, I've sat here for 5 hours watching something, I need to do something else. Like
Yeah.
being able to pull yourself back, being able to regain control, being able to realize the situation you're in.
As you shared a verse earlier, and as you were talking about like discernment, one verse that came to mind that the whole verse isn't coming to me, but I think it's relevant here, is one where it's mentioned that all things are, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are profitable, essentially. And then all things are lawful, but I will not be mastered, or I will not be ruled over by anything. So that goes back to the point that you've been making, like about discernment and having self-awareness.
Okay.
How does this like impact me? So having that clarity there, and knowing I'm not going to be mastered over by this.
Yeah.
So I think that that's like pretty relevant here. Not to just chalk everything up to like, oh, just make the decision for
Yeah,
you
no.
per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
But I
Train
think,
yourself to be self-aware.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it definitely starts with self-awareness and awareness of their intent, like the intent of the creators of Netflix and other social media outlets.
Yes.
But then also like
Finding solutions,
yes.
finding alternatives.
And one solution that can help you master these things is instead of just your self-will, you know, because sometimes we run out of willpower. Like at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
We're
well, we use all our
tired.
willpower to, you know, get decisions done at work, or you know,
Yeah.
we're tired, and sometimes willpower isn't enough. You know, there's accountability.
Yes.
Talking to other people, hey, these are my goals. Can you keep me accountable so that I can make sure that I meet those goals.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like when we talk to others, we're coming to the light, and when we're to ourselves, it's like we're in darkness, and
You only have your point of view.
yeah, and
Right.
it's more easy for you to go into those destructive cycle when you're in darkness, right? So bringing someone else in is a way to combat that. There are also like other practical things. There are things that limit. Like there's software that limit the amount of time that you can spend on a website, or like you can just
Okay,
shut
I
your
didn't
computer
see
off
that.
at a certain time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanisms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cold Turkey is a good software.
Yeah.
Okay.
So self-control, self-awareness,
Yeah.
moderation.
Building
is
better
also key.
habits
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Figuring out why you might. Why do you? Why
Why do I
can't you
do
do?
this?
Why do you
Yeah.
have to do that? Like,
Yeah.
there's one book I read called The Compound Effect, and it's just figuring out like when you you say you just finished your semester and you just want to relax. Like, why does you're relaxing go into that, and then you see what it leads to. So maybe figuring out different ways to relax
Yeah.
yourself versus just turning on the TV,
Painting.
which is so easy. Painting, walking, exercising, reading,
Yeah.
we all have 24 hours in a
Yeah.
day. So I think it's also an important question to ask, like, how much
Yeah.
time does this deserve out of my 24 hours?
Or what do I want to spend my day on?
Yeah.
Like
How much time does this deserve?
So let's all
Right.
think about how we want to spend our 24 hours and what you
Yes.
want to do for the day. And
You can spend 5 minutes of that liking this video,
subscribing.
subscribing, sharing with friends. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you for joining us
watching.
today.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.